G'day everyone, this morning I'm in Junee and we're going to be taking a look at the Junee Roundhouse's 75th anniversary of being open. But first, we're going to catch this railmotor to Wagga Wagga and return, and then we're going to go check out the Roundhouse. So, let's get on board. So just for some context, Junee is a railway town about 400 kilometres from Melbourne and about the same distance from Sydney on the main south line. Junee has a spectacular roundhouse, half of which is a museum and the other half a very much operational railway facility. So during October 2022, the roundhouse turned 75 and there were some events around Junee to celebrate it. As I said, I started the day by jumping on board the newly reactivated Railmotor set number 631 and 731, which started life in the 1950s as New South Wales Railmotors, but in 2010 they were refitted as the mechanised track patrol vehicle. With this conversion, it saw the removal of existing passenger seats throughout and specialised track testing equipment, cameras and lighting, as well as generators fitted, as well as that the end communication doors were replaced with clear plexiglass. However, during the late 2010s, ML070, as it was known, was withdrawn and sold. It has subsequently been restored by the Lachlan Valley Railway for passenger use, and it has gone back to assuming its original road numbers. During the trip, we were told that the units had only recently had their carpets and seats refitted back into the set, and I reckon they've done a pretty good job in this very unique rail motor. The tour was a few hours of a round trip to the city of Wagga Wagga, where we spent a little bit of time having a look around the town, as well as a very interesting railway station, which has a museum, which displays old railway equipment and photos of a bygone era. The Wagga station is an excellent building and one I reckon rail fans should certainly see if you're in the area. We made our way back to Junee in some excellent weather and a very smooth ride in these rail motors. Then once back at Junee, the LVR set made its way off to Cootamundra for the second trip of the day, where I managed to get out ahead of it to see it leaving. Now during the weekend there were a couple of other events happening. The Epping Model Railway Club from Sydney had set up their beautiful exhibition layout, the Fungra Spiral, in the Return Servicemen Centre, which I did make a standalone video on, which can be found here. Now, on the hill in Junee is something really special, Pete's Hobby Railway. Pete's Hobby Railway is a private narrow gauge railway. Unfortunately though, it's not open for public rides, but it is certainly worth seeing if you're in the area, and I will leave the details for the railway's operating days in the description. Pete's Hobby Railway is a small 2-foot gauge or 610mm gauge railway with steam and diesel locomotives formerly used on the Canefield tramways of Queensland. The trains can be viewed and photographed from the street, and it's really something amazing. The railway is currently point to point, but I was told that there are plans on making it into a complete loop. The small station is named Loftus, which is a throwback to Pete's first railway, located just out of Sydney, in the town of Loftus. As well as that, apparently Loftus was the original name for Junee. Pete and his team have built locomotive storage and servicing facilities, as well as a little turntable. And one day I hope that I can come back and make a more in-depth video on Pete's amazing private railway. Now the Junee Roundhouse, the entire reason for my trip to Junee. Construction of the Junee Roundhouse commenced in 1943 and was officially opened on Friday the 29th of September 1947, although it had already been in service since January that year, and is now only exceeded by the 105-foot turntables at Broadmeadow, Thelmere and Werris Creek. The roundhouse is built of a brick construction and has 42 bays, a machine shop, and until the demise of steam in the early 1960s, it had a large elevated coal stage and de-ashing pit. Now, like I said earlier, Half is a museum and half is still very much in use, which makes for a great deal of very interesting locomotives. From vintage steam locomotives in long-term storage to some Grain Corp 48s waiting for the grain season to kick off. There was Cube and other operators' locomotives moving around in the yard waiting for their next job. The museum houses many locomotives from New South Wales, like Class Leader 4401, a Candy 442, number 26, and 4827, plus steam locomotives 2413, 3609, plus Railmotor number 2, and a good collection of rolling stock from guards vans, freight wagons, passenger carriages from all over, including this Victorian Railway sitting car, number 7VFW, which I wasn't even aware of. They even have a steam crane. Now, most of these carriages and locomotives are open, so you can go in and have a good look around and see how we once travelled. The museum also houses railway artefacts and memorabilia, and this sizable model railway built by the late Greg Gibson, who was the Australian High Commissioner to Malta, as well as being a well-known jazz musician. After his death, his family donated the railway to the museum, and it's great to see that it's still operating today. So there we go, that was my day at the 75th anniversary of the Junee Roundhouse. Now the Roundhouse is open all year round, so if you do want to go and visit for yourself and check out everything in much greater depth, I'll leave all the appropriate links in the description below. So I hope you've all enjoyed my coverage of the 75th anniversary of the Junee Roundhouse and a little trip on a very interesting rail motor. If you do have any feedback or you just have something you want to add to this video, feel free to leave it in the comments section below. And of course, don't forget to be subscribed so you can keep up to date with all the videos that I've got coming out in the future. Once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. Hooroo!